Life is a journey, not a destination. Welcome to Broken to be Blessed Network, where strong, bold, powerful men will share their journey of inspiration and motivation. Life is meant to be lived, but it depends on one's own experiences that will shape their own path. For this reason, they will leave with you their own strategies used to overcome life's challenges. I'm your host, Samantha McNeil. Ladies and gentlemen, today's guest, Mr. Aeon King, a teacher by profession, with a Bachelor's of Arts in Secondary Education, with emphasis in mathematics and a minor in arts. He's married to his wife Janelle, and they produce two beautiful children, Jayon and Aeon Jr. His philosophy is, with faith, you can accomplish the impossible. Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Broken to be Blessed Network. We're happy that you are tuning in and that you're joining us today. And as you know, our males are sharing their journey because quite often we haven't heard their story. And today I have with me yet another wonderful and powerful man, Aeon King. Hello, Aeon. How are you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm so happy to have you and
I'm
with us today.
delighted to be here.
Awesome. Well, as per usual, we like to get to know our guests a little bit before we get into the journey. So, what's your favorite food?
Well, interestingly, my favorite food is actually fried chicken. I love my fried chicken.
Interesting. All right, so what do you do for fun?
Besides watching movies and hanging out with my family, sometimes I like to take a walk in the park and enjoy nature. So I think, in a nutshell, that's what I do for fun.
All right, so he's a nature kind of a person, and we are ready to hear his journey. So Aeon is a teacher, and he is now here in the USA. However, he's from Jamaica, so we're gonna let him tell us a little about how it was growing up, where he's from exactly in Jamaica, and all of those wonderful things. So tell us where you're from in Jamaica, Aeon, and what it was like growing up.
Well, I'm from a tiny community by the name of Coley, Cowley. That's, I guess, tucked away in Clarendon. Some people say it's in St. Ann, but I guess it's in the border of Clarendon and St. Ann, so to speak. So I grew up there for, I think, about 10 to 12 years. And after the passing of my mom, I relocated to another district by the name of McNeil, which is close by. And so as a child, those two communities, those are where I grew up.
Okay. Wow, you mentioned after the passing of your mom. I'm so sorry about that.
Yeah, that's
and I hope during this journey, yes, we'll hear much about it. And I guess that's where I'm going to point you now. At a tender age of 10, losing your mom, that must would have been I can't even find the word to say that. How was that for you? How has life been after that?
I would say it was an uphill challenge for me. As you said, I lost my mom when I was 10. Actually, it was a lot of us. I was the 7th of 8. And all of us were kids when she passed. So we have to fend for ourselves, so to speak. So 2 years after her passing, I was adopted by a family. That's how I relocated to McNeil. She was a teacher, so the principal of the school that she was working with, for, he's the one who adopted me, and my life somewhat turned from there. So I would say turn to a positive path, so to speak.
Okay, wow. We're so grateful for that man that stepped up and.
Well, it's the family, not just him. He had 2 kids, and he's married, so it's the entire family.
The entire family. Wow, we are really grateful for that entire family that would have stepped in right on time. So how was it for your other siblings? Were they adopted by the same family, or?
Well, I was the only one who got adopted. The others, they were all over the place, so to speak. Some with relatives, some with strangers. But we managed, as Jamaicans would say, we passed the works. So we have to give God thanks for that. But
so where was your dad in all of that?
Interestingly, I haven't met my dad up to today, and I'm in my mid-30s, and I haven't met my daddy. So I could not say where he was or where he is currently. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's another must have been another challenge before even coming to age 10, because all of that phase you would not have that your father's side of family or him being involved in your life. But we're grateful for that family that took you in, and you said that your life turned for. So how did you deal with, after you move with this family and you're now here trying to settle and all of that? Because did you get counseling after the passing of your mom? How did you cope? How did you grieve? Do you have any recollection of the funeral day, all of those stuff?
Well, it took me a while before I came to grip as in what really happened. I actually witnessed some of the incident, because she was pregnant with my sister, and on the night, or maybe in the early morning of the delivery, as I said, it was in the country, so we were not privy to hospital or maybe clinic or whatever. So, but those days, they use midwives to do delivery, and I think she was probably inexperienced, and the issue of cutting the umbilical cord, it did not work out the way it should, and I guess she bled to death. Because when I remember looking at her, my mom had high color, and when I look at her, she was practically white. You could see that she had bled out. So by the time she got to the hospital, she died on the way. So stuff like that haunted me growing up. I remember I used to cry all the time when I remember it. So it took me a while before I really overcame it, because when I was younger, I didn't understand what was happening, but when I got bigger, I realized that, hey, this is what really happened. So it took me a while to overcome.
Wow. I'm sitting here and listening, and I can't even put my mind to even imagine as a child to literally see your mom in that stage.
It was rough.
That would have been a whole trauma on a whole new level. So how was it now after, with this family, you would have started a new school? Lead us into how that was for you.
I was actually going to the same school. Okay. I think at the time I was in grade 5 when my mom passed. Yeah, grade 5 or grade 4, somewhere there. But I was missing out on school a lot, because I was staying with my uncle, and I guess he was not so much fond of school, so to speak. He was more interested in his priorities. So we have to sit out school, my younger brother and I, and help him in his field. So it was not after I was adopted that time that I decided to, be more serious with school. I remember when I got in grade 6, I was so behind, I could hardly catch up. I could not even do GSAT. That's how bad it was. Well, at the time, it was not GSAT, it was actually Common Entrance, but I was way behind. But I gradually moved up the ladder, and I got accepted to Untitled Technical High when I took the technical entrance, I think in grade 8. And from there, my life started to, move forward in a positive way.
Wow. So what would you say have been your drive to where you are today?
I think my drive is, I think I am intrinsically motivated, and when I look back at my past and how we struggled, I always said I would never want to be like this. I would not want to be like my father. My brothers and sisters, we all struggle, so I always want to be different. I want to make sure that I achieve something in life.
Awesome, awesome. And we're now at the phase of you passing your examination in 8th grade. Take us from that phase until...
So as I said, I was successful in the technical entrance exam, and I went to Untitled Technical High School. That's in Linstead, St. Catherine. It was that was a great time in my life, because I was able to move from the country era. I was able to see places.
Because I was just gonna ask if that wasn't far
so
from home.
It took me like about an hour and a half
Wow.
to get to school every day.
Wow.
We used to travel on this big bus, and we have to get up like 5 o'clock in the mornings. So if you miss the bus, you have to take taxi, and that's gonna be a major financial issue.
My God.
So we have to ensure that we catch the bus and catch it while we're going home in the afternoon. I used to be so tired, but it was exciting for me. I always want to go to school. I always want to learn something new, and I was grateful for the opportunity.
Wow, awesome, awesome. If you're just tuning in, we are listening to the story and the journey of Mr. Aeon King. And he has been through quite a lot, and we are just at high school phase. Oh, so during high school, tell us what high school was for you. Even though you were going, you said that it was an hour and a half, but the journey was an adventure. How was high school for you? After not, because you would have been, you said that for primary age, it would have been a challenge because you haven't been going so much, but then you would have what we'd call pick up during that phase and pass that exam, and now in high school. How was high school for you, 5 years?
Well, I have to adapt. This, what should I say? The competition was rough in high school. I have to try and stay with the kids in terms of trying to get past my sub courses or the subjects. And to be honest, I did not know how to study. I did not know what it's like to study. So when I go home in the afternoons, I have to do chores, and by the time I finish chores, I have to really go to bed, so to speak. So my grades was not as I wanted to, and but I was still able to manage to keep afloat, to keep a fairly okay average. I remember in grade 8, I was I think I was number 11 in the class of about 30 something, despite me not studying. So I was able to maintain, fairly good or fairly okay grades.
Okay, awesome. So tell us, I want you to now lead us into after high school and deciding that you are going to become a teacher. How was that? What led you to that?
I after high school, I don't think I did as good as I should have, because like I said, at the time I wasn't motivated. I didn't know how to study. I didn't know what I really wanted or anything like that. Um, but I noticed after high school, all my friends, they were, graduating and moving on to colleges, and nothing was happening for me. It's like I was stagnant. And I said to myself one day, I need to do something with my life. At the time, I did not have sufficient subjects to matriculate, and one, I didn't have the money either. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna move out. I'm gonna move in somewhere in Kingston. I'm not sure where I'm going, but I'm just gonna get a job and get some more subjects and then move on with my life. And so said, so done. I remember one day I get up and said, I'm just gonna go. I didn't know where I was going,
Wow.
but I said I'm gonna go. And I ended up in Portmore, where one of my brother recommended a friend who I was staying with. I also got a job at the salt factory. That's industrial chemical company, also called the salt factory. That's where I did my what do you call it now? When you were in high school, I don't remember what it's called.
What do you call it?
We call it practical in college, but I don't remember what it's called.
Work experience.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's where I did my work experience. So the lady at the time, she really liked me. She was the HR. And when I went back there and asked for a job, she had no hesitation. So she told me that what I could do is go to art and study there and work there. And that's exactly what I did. I did level 1 at art in Portmore, as well as I worked. And I also got my CXCs. So I was able to matriculate. I was there for about 2 years, or close to 2 years. But something interesting happened while I was there. I remember I was going to connect a welding plant, as I was doing maintenance work. And for some reason, in the back of my mind, I turned the breaker off. So while I was there connecting the welding plant, I almost got electrocuted.
Wow.
Right? It was 415 volts in the thing that held me, and I saw my life flash in front of me. That's when I cried out.
My God.
And it was someone who was close by, heard it. All I could see, I couldn't move, or I could just feel the thing going through my body. And he was able to pull me off it. And I got some minor burns, but it was it. God was amazing. And I decided, hey, I'm going to leave from there. And from there, I transitioned to Nassau for a few years. Well, not a year, for a few months. And that was another major drama. I was there. Initially, I went there to seek a job, because my brother, he's living there. He got married to a Bahamian and he's living there. And he told me that, he could get a job and for me and all of that. And of course, when I got there, I did interviews. I think I was successful, but nothing was happening. And 1 month turned into 2 months, turned into 3 months, and it keeps going like that. And I should have been in the country for only 3 weeks.
Wow.
So imagine I'm now there illegally. And trying to get out, but at the same time I'm trying to get a job. But all it takes is for me to get a work permit so I could get a job. And I could not get anybody to do it for me. And it reached about 10 months. And I remember I was going somewhere with my brother. But his wife said, do not go. But he didn't listen. He just, we went still. Because we like fishing. I think we were going fishing or something like that. And it so happened that a police pulled him over, because one of his taillight was broken. And when he pulled him over, he was talking to the cop. And he told me to sit in the car, and that's what I did. So the cop came by and saw me and started to question me. And then he realized that I'm a Jamaican as well. And so he asked me for my papers. And I was going to tell him I don't have anything, but my brother told me to tell him that it's at home. So I told him that, yeah, my papers are at home. And he said, okay, let's go and get it.
Wow.
But at the same time, you're going to drive in the Jeep with us. I'm like, look at this. So they put me in the Jeep. Well, not a Jeep, a car, a police car. And they drove behind my brother to go to the house. When he got there, that's the time he decided to tell him that I don't have any papers. So they said, you know what? You're going out with us today. I'm like, what is this on me, Lord?
Oh my God.
So they put the handcuff on me now and decide to go to the station to lock me up. So while I was there, I was trying to talk with them. I said, listen, I did not come here for all of this. I came here to get a job and whatever. He said, you should have said this before. Maybe we would have some, had some leniency on you. I said, but it was not me. My brother said so and so, so I was just following his lead. He was not buying my argument. And I sat in the car and I whispered a prayer. I said, Lord, you know I did not come here for this. You know my intention. And when we got to the police station, they told me to stand up at the front. My hands behind me, the cuffs. And one of the officer came by and said, it must be God on your side because this guy don't let go anybody. But he decided that he's going to let you go.
Wow.
So I'm saying it was only God. And after that, I told my brother, I'm going home. It doesn't matter whatever, I'm going back to Jamaica. And shortly after, I decided to come home. So it was a really uphill task those few years.
Wow. And that was after high school?
Sure. Well, after high school, then work, then that episode, right?
Wow. So when you're back in Jamaica now, what happened? What did you do?
So
after such an ordeal, another trauma again. Oh my God.
So while in Nassau, I managed to save up a little something. Even though I didn't have any papers, I must commend the church. They would give me like some work that you could hide and do. For example, when they're doing crusades or they're doing evangelistic series, they would ask me to probably guard the tent. So I'd probably go there and stay the night or probably in the day. So stuff like that. So I was able to get a few dollars. So when I went back to Jamaica with it, I realized that, hey, Jamaica life was a different life now. Almost 1 year. So I just see my few shillings just keep going. So I said, no, I have to do something. So I was able to get another job. And I think I stayed at that job for about 3 months. And I decided that, hey, I'm going to change my life. I'm going to go to NCU. Because I was able to get the subject, so I have everything. The only thing I didn't have was money. So I applied out of faith, and I got accepted, and I resigned my job for I was working there for 3 months. So I decided to go to NCU, and that was in 2015. So I decided to do it. No money, nowhere to go to live. None of my school fee paid, but I just know that I need to do something. So of course I got accepted, and the only funds I had at the time was about $4,000 to pay my first month's rent.
Wow.
And when I paid it, that was it.
Wow. That must have been a big, big faith. So how did faith play out? Because that's a big faith. So we want to hear, after having so much faith, how did it work out?
So I remember when I decided first I said I wanted to become a pastor. So I applied to that school of religion and theology. I started going classes because, as I said, I didn't know much about university. I didn't know that you have to pay your school fee, you have to do all of this. So I was there for about a week, going to school, doing classes, doing assignments and all, and didn't know that I have to pay my tuition.
Oh my God.
So I remember one day the professor came in and said, those who did not pay their tuition or whatever cannot no longer stay in the class. That's how it works. Sometimes if you have challenges paying your tuition, they give you like a few weeks to get the funds. If not, you'll have to sit out or you have to leave or whatever. So that's the time it hit me that, hey, I have to pay tuition. So they told me about options where you can actually work on campus.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to leave class and go and apply for a job. So when I applied, I went to the cafeteria. That's where I got a job. So the very same day I applied, they accepted me. So I was working there. So I had to work at the cafeteria for 1 full year. Then I could reapply to the whichever college to, resume my studies.
Okay.
Yeah. But when you don't know, you just don't know.
I tell you. So how was it after you finished the year of working and then you transition into starting the studies? How was it? Which program did you choose?
So it was during that 1 year that I reassessed my life, and I said to do theology is gonna be a little rough, and irrespective of me wanting to do it, I also look at it and say, but at the same time, I have to think about jobs. When I finish, when I'm able to get a job. So it was then that I decided, hey, I'm gonna do education instead, and I decided to, apply for education instead of theology.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was not my first option, but it ended up to be my.
So when are you gonna go back to the second option, Pastor King?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
But one of the things that drives me, I said, you don't have to be a pastor to witness. So because of that, I said, being a teacher, you're touching so many lives, and that's one of the motivating factor. And I could have, I saw that when I was teaching, interestingly, in the Bahamas, I was actually touching lives. So I realized that I did not necessarily have to be a pastor to do what I really wanted to do, which is to touch lives.
Okay, so I hear you mention the Bahamas. So after finishing studies, you actually went back to.
That's why I was saying interestingly the Bahamas, because prior to going to college, I was coming from the Bahamas illegally. I almost went to prison, and I learned that the prison there is no bed of roses.
Oh my God!
So that's. So I was really what's the word I'm looking for? I was really terrified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I've heard testimonies.
Mm-hmm.
So when I finished college, I had a friend from Freeport, Bahamas. We did some classes together because I did secondary education with an emphasis in mathematics.
Wow! So after, hold on. After, oh my God, after not going to primary school, as in the first phase of primary school, losing your mother, not starting high school, where did all of that come from to be a teacher, not only a teacher, but a teacher of mathematics? I tell you, help us to understand that.
I would say it's the grace of God.
Oh my God.
My finite knowledge cannot do it. It have to be infinite knowledge that helped me to to aspire my dream. Well, first I wanted to be an actuarial science, to do actuarial science.
Wow.
But that's a pretty difficult one. So I
A
decided,
man of big faith, you see, I tell you.
I'll do education. So, like I said, when he saw me on graduation day and he asked me if I was interested in working in Bahamas, because I even before that, I was, while people were wondering where are they gonna work when they finish, I always have it in the back of my mind that God will make a way. I'm not worried about job. I'm just concentrating on finishing school. And that very day on graduation, he said, I know of a school that needs somebody. And I said, I would be interested. And the good thing is, I wanted a break from Jamaica again. So I said, you know what? This is a good chance right here. I could just get a break and go somewhere else. And I applied. And lo and behold, they accepted me. It was so fast that I didn't even have money to get the necessary things together to go.
Wow.
But it just shows you that God is really amazing.
Wow. And you spent how many years in the Bahamas?
I taught in the Bahamas for 3 years.
Okay.
I taught at a Adventist school. That's Grand Bahama Academy. And I was the only math teacher there, by the way. I was teaching from grade 7 to 12.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's where I garnered my experience as a teacher, because my practicum experience was no experience, so to speak. I was just, what should I say now, getting my toes wet. But when I went to Bahamas now, that's when I was thrown off into the deep. So go ahead and fend for yourself.
Okay, right. I see. Awesome. That is just awesome. A beautiful story of faith and trusting and overcoming. A wonderful story, I tell you. And after all of that, you transitioned to the US, right?
Well, yes, I transitioned here. It was during my tenure in Freeport that I decided, hey, I need to move to greener pastures. And it's not just greener pastures. I wanted more from life, in the sense that I don't think I was growing in Freeport. And why I said that is because in the system there was no growth for us. You would sit at where you are for as long as you are until you retire. And I'm like, I'm a young man. I can't just sit here and stagnant. All right. So I decided, hey, I'm gonna move further afield, and that's how I ended up here. And also, I was looking out for the interest of my wife. Interestingly, I didn't mention my wife, but I'm bringing her in now.
No.
So I had to look out for the interest of my wife. So as it relates to her, we met at NCU as well, and in the cafeteria. Yeah, that's where we met, and we dated for all of our time in college, and we married immediately after graduation.
Wow.
The very day after. And so some people would say we married and eloped. So maybe that's what happened. Yeah, so I was looking out for her because in Bahamas, if you're not a teacher, it's difficult for you to get a job. So I said, you know what? I need to move away from this. I need to ensure that she will be able to practice her career as well. And that drives me to move forward.
Awesome. Beautiful story. We're so happy to have you sharing your story with us. and as Broken to be Blessed provides you with testimonies, inspiration, and motivation. I am sure that you are already inspired and motivated, that it doesn't matter what life throws at you,
Yes.
if you have that mind that, hey, I don't want here. Because as I asked Mr. King before, what drives you? And he said to me, I have seen around me what life is already. And I said to myself that I don't want what's right here. I want something else. And even when he was transitioned from his country of birth, he then worked there and he still wanted more. Hence, he is here. And I'm sure that he's a man of faith. You never know. You might see him being Pastor King or Dr. King or something not too long from now. So a man of faith will always go for something. So I know him. I've seen him. He's a wonderful father of a daughter and a son, and they look so much like him. And I know mom is gonna say, "Oh, I think the son gets a little bit of mommy," because I know she's gonna like, "Oh, why did Samantha say all of that? They don't look like me." Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, but I'm so happy to have you sitting with us and sharing your journey with us. And before we go, I want you to just encourage somebody. Speak with somebody that will watch and who have encountered some of the things you have encountered, so many things, and to still be here and can smile and can share your journey and have that determination to push and to say in spite of, and even to be a father, knowing that growing up even until this day you don't know where your biological father is. Talk to somebody, share with them how you can even tell us. We have heard some of the ways you have coped, but right now it's just to put the icing on the cake. How it is that you really manage, how it is that you really go out of your mind. And I know sometimes persons will say, oh, it's easier said than done, but I think there's something beautiful when you can actually hear from somebody who have walked the path that they are walking. So it's over to you.
Well, guys, it is always said that the journey of 1,000 miles start by a single step. And I can say that I took my first step. It was a rough one, but I tried. I persevered. Growing up, like she said, it was not easy. I did not know my father. I lost my mom when I was really young. So I was adopted. So I was moving from place to place as the years goes by. But I was motivated that I need to do something with my life. And I'm encouraging somebody today that irrespective of what may happen to you in life, as they would say, if life give you flour, use it to make dumpling or make dough. But you can find creative things to do in life. Not everybody will probably be end up in college, but you can end up somewhere else where life is meaningful. But all I'm saying is, don't give up. Fight the fight and trust in God. He is the one that helped me to be where I am today. I put my trust in him. Many times I almost gave up, but as the songwriter say, I can't give up now. You've come this far and God will keep you through, or God will take you through it. So I'm encouraging somebody, be strong, stay focused, and put your trust entirely in God's hand, and he will direct your path.
encouragement.
You're
I'm
welcome.
encouraged right here already, and I know that you are going to be encouraged too. Thank you, Mr. King, for sharing
You're
with
most
us.
welcome.
It's really a privilege to have you sharing your journey on Broken to be Blessed Network. Broken things can become a blessing if you
Amen to
let God do the mending. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. And remember to subscribe. Be a part of this great network because we are building a great network over here. Thank you again, Mr.
Thank you
King.
for
And
having
thank
me.
you again, viewers, for always being here, for watching, for sharing, for liking. And have yourself a blessed day, a blessed evening, a blessed afternoon, whatever time you may watch. And bye-bye.
Bye.